What skills do you have in your toolbox for initiating the tough conversations with your partner? Maybe you want to turn a new page over in communication. In today's video, I'm going to give you my 3-step process for having what I call the big hairy conversation. So let's dive in. The first step is prep. When you're prepping for this conversation, the most important thing to remember is to avoid the thing that everyone does. This is the "we need to talk" moment. Please do not say "we need to talk." Why? Well, think back to the last time someone said that to you. If you can, remember your initial emotional reaction, how that felt in your body. Did you feel instantly relaxed, receptive, excited? Or did you feel a tensioning and sort of a bracing, uh-oh, what's up? Well, for most of us, it's the latter. And so to start to sow the seeds for our partner being able to receive what we want to say, I recommend a different approach. You can say something like, when we have a chance, there's something I'd like to share with you. And if that doesn't sound natural, you could also say another option, which is, I'd love when we have the chance to conduct a thought experiment with you. And as I say that, just imagine the difference in hearing those phrases from your partner. What's the different response in your body and your nervous system that those would elicit? So the prep step is to find your opener and find a time to have this conversation, and please avoid "we need to talk." 2 in the BHC, or the big hairy conversation, is the face-to-face. Here's where you're actually going to sit down together, or you could go for a walk. That's a great idea. And you're going to discuss this. Now, part of my formula for successfully navigating BHC is to start the face-to-face with a 1-2 punch called fear-desire. This is where you share a fear and a desire before you launch in to the content of what you're discussing. What this does is continues to lay the foundation for a receptive partner. So the way this looks is you'll use the format, my fear is, my desire is, and then you'll dive into it. My fear is that we could fall into one of our past patterns of communicating. Up until now, when we've had these conversations, sometimes they get derailed. But my desire is to feel an even deeper connection with you. I love you so much, and I want to feel even closer to you in all the ways. And once you've said that, you can start talking about what it is that you really want to discuss with your partner. And actually, I've got even one more ninja trick that I want to share with you. You see how many pieces there are in making this a safe space, setting the foundation for a receptive partner. So this is our next ninja trick. And this is to take this whole conversation and place it in the realm of the theoretical. This is going to further support your partner in keeping their nervous system regulated, keeping calm, not getting hooked by triggers that might have hooked them in the past. So the way you do this is you assure them that this is just a thought experiment, and you want to make a list of pros and cons with them about an idea that you've had. So once you've done that, you've assured them we're not taking any action as a result of this conversation. We're just considering it. It's just theoretical. And you can start. And you can say, okay, I'd love to, just as a thought experiment, create a list of pros and cons on me cutting down my hours at work, or me changing jobs, or us moving to another city, or up-leveling our intimacy skills and learning more about this area of life, exploring together. And then you do it. You brainstorm together, and it's got a different energy than that we need to talk conversation. And then the third piece to this whole roadmap is the follow-up. You kind of want to tie it all up in a nice bow. You've done so well so far in crafting this conversation. So the third and final piece is to follow up and ask them, what do you need right now? Is it a hot bath? Do you need a massage? You need to be tickled? You need to have some space, some alone time, and we can meet up later for dinner. If this is a really big, hairy conversation, your partner is going to need some time to digest. And offering this support is like the bow that wraps this whole process together. Now, be prepared that they might not know what they need. They might have no options for how you can support them. This is really common. So what you want to do is have a little menu of options handy in your back pocket. Things they like, that calm them, that have them feel loved. And have it ready so you can offer a few choices from the menu. And then it's like an aftercare for this conversation, so that both of you leave feeling calm, feeling connected, and hopefully more receptive to having another big, hairy conversation in the future. Well, I hope this helped. Let me know how it goes, whether it's a blooper or a success story. Let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. And I'll see you next time. Have a connected day. So there's another trick that I love using with all my clients, and I'm going to share it with you right now. This is a ninja tough conversation trick. So what this does is it creates an air of safety, and it takes us out of our fight or flight response into a more detached vantage point where we can actually access more of our prefrontal cortex, more of our rational, logical, cognitive functions. And so what you want to do for this one is you want to take this whole conversation, you want to lift it up, and you want to place it in the realm of the theoretical. So we're already priming for this. If you used the opening line, I'd like to conduct a thought experiment with you. Now, whether or not you use that as your opener, you can still do this step by taking it from the ring, and taking it out into the stands, into the theoretical. And the way you do this is you let them know we're not going to make any decisions as a result of this conversation. We're just going to consider it theoretically and write a list of pros and cons. That's it. That's all we're doing. And assure them that there's no action taken from this meeting, from this discussion. So, if you want to talk about your desire to work less, to cut down on your hours in your career, then you can propose a pro and con list. Let's, as a thought experiment, just for fun, let's look at what would be the pros and cons of me cutting down my hours and working less. If you're really desiring to uplevel your intimacy and your intimate connection, maybe the thought experiment is, what would it look like to gain some new intimacy skills together? And you could write a list of pros and cons about that. So that's the face-to-face. Using the structure to lay the foundation for receptive listening, a receptive partner, then taking it out of the ring and making it theoretical. And then together you can brainstorm. Can you start to feel how this is so different from the we need to talk? This is taking it from an offense. Of course, that's not your intention, but on the other side, it can feel like you're getting missiles launched at you and you need to react. And anyways, I could say so much about what it's like on that side, and you've probably felt it. But in this format of having the tough conversation, you're working together. You're on the same team. You're brainstorming. You're enlisting your partner to make your case for you. How cool is that? So after face-to-face, the third and final step is the follow-up. Now, in follow-up, a really effective way to wrap this all together is to think about, what do they need, right? If this was a bit out of left field, if this was a big one, the big hairy conversation, you really want to wrap everything up in a bow so that this conversation leaves both of you feeling good and open to having more of these in the future. So the way you do that is by checking in with your partner. What do you need right now? As we close and we just consider, we don't take any action, but what do you need right now? Just to finish this off. Do you need some cuddling? Do you need me to scratch your back? Can I run a bath for you? Would you like a bit of time on your own? And then we can meet back up for dinner. Really have them think about what would support them most in this moment. And another, insider tip for you, ninja tip, is have a little menu of options ready in your back pocket. If they say, I don't know how you can support me right now. I don't know what I need, which is often what they'll say. Then you can have your little menu of things they like, things calm them, support them, and you can offer them some of those. So there you have it. 3 steps to having that big, hairy conversation. And I ask you, try it out and compare it to the traditional we need to talk, and let me know, how did it go? How is it different when you use this format? So if you've got any stories on how this went, whether they be bloopers or success stories, I'd love to hear them. Go ahead and put them in the comments below, or you can send me an email. And if you have anything else you'd like to hear a video on, let me know. I'm always looking for ways that I can support you in having more magnificent relationships.